The great meeting hall of the Galactic Imperium fell silent as Admiral Gentar walked in. His blue skin shimmered under the bright lights. 12 council members sat around the large round table, each from a different planet. They ruled over 10,000 worlds across the stars. "Admiral, we received a strange message today," said High Counselor Vex. Her voice echoed in the quiet room. "Show him." A large screen lit up on the wall. The face of a Vexari appeared, a thin alien with large black eyes and gray skin. Vexari were known as the best scouts in the galaxy. They found new planets for the Imperium to take over. The Vexari on screen looked scared. His hands shook as he spoke. "This is Scout Commander Nix Vol of the 7th Fleet," he said. His voice cracked with fear. "We have found a new system in Sector 87 Epsilon. There is a blue world there, they call it Earth." The Vexari looked over his shoulder. Loud noises came from somewhere off-screen. "Listen carefully," he continued, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Do not approach Earth. I repeat, Earth is a trap." Suddenly a crash sounded. The Vexari's eyes went wide. "They're coming. Don't send ships here. Earth is—" The screen went black. Admiral Gentar looked at the council members. "What happened to the scout ship?" "We lost contact," said Vex. "No further messages received." An older council member named Krath laughed. "The Vexari are always afraid. Remember when they warned us about the gas giants in the Orion Belt? Nothing. But floating rocks in the end." Others nodded in agreement. "The Vexari see danger everywhere," said another council member. "It's their nature to be cautious." Admiral Gentar wasn't so sure. The scout seemed truly frightened. "Perhaps we should investigate carefully." High Counselor Vex shook her head. "The Imperium needs new resources. Our scientists already scanned that system. This Earth is a primitive world. They've barely reached their own moon. They fight among themselves. Their technology is centuries behind ours." She pointed to a star map. "We've conquered 1,000 worlds more advanced than this one. No primitive species has ever defeated an Imperial fleet." "What about the Vexari warning?" asked Gentar. Krath waved his hand dismissively. "Probably attacked by local wildlife. Or crashed on a moon. The Vexari always exaggerate." The council voted quickly. 12 lights turned green on the table. "It is decided," said Vex. "Admiral Gentar, you will take the 5th Fleet to this Earth. Scan it, assess its resources, and prepare it for Imperial control." Gentar bowed his head. "As the Council commands." As he left the chamber, the Admiral couldn't shake a feeling of unease. In 300 years of service, he had never seen a Vexari scout so terrified. What could possibly frighten the Empire's bravest explorers? In his quarters, Gentar studied the preliminary scans of Earth. A blue planet, with white clouds much like thousands of others. Its people used fossil fuels and primitive nuclear power. They had no unified government. Their weapons were simple and chemical-based. "Earth is a trap," the Vexari had said. Gentar laughed at himself. He was becoming as paranoid as a Vexari scout. What could these primitives possibly do against the might of an Imperial fleet? He would soon find out. 3 large Imperial ships appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. Admiral Gentar stood on the bridge of the largest ship, the Conqueror. The stars were bright against the black of space. "Scan the 3rd planet," he ordered. Officer Mila tapped on her screen. Data flowed across the display. "Admiral, initial. Scans show a Class 5 civilization. They have basic space travel but haven't gone beyond their moon. They use primitive nuclear power and have many separate countries." Commander Krell stepped forward. He was a battle-hardened veteran with scars across his green face. "Another easy conquest. I've taken 100 worlds like this one." "Something seems off," Gentar said, studying the blue planet on the main screen. "Why would the Vexari be so afraid?" Krell laughed. "The Vexari fear their own shadows." "Prepare. The first contact team," Gentar ordered. "Follow standard protocol. Land in their largest city and demonstrate our power." "Which city, Admiral?" Mila asked. "This one." Gentar pointed to a sprawling urban area. Their data networks call it Beijing. 6 hours later, Commander Krell led a team of 20 soldiers in a smaller ship toward Earth. As they descended through white clouds, they saw the city spread out below them, countless buildings reaching toward the sky. Primitive but impressive, Krell admitted. At least they build tall structures. The ship landed in an open square. Crowds of humans gathered, pointing and taking pictures with small devices. Local security forces created a perimeter but didn't approach the ship. Krell stepped out first, his soldiers behind him. He expected screams, panic, or people bowing in fear. Instead, the humans stared with curiosity. Some even smiled. A small group approached, walking calmly. One stepped forward, a woman in a formal red suit. "Welcome to Earth," she said in perfect galactic standard. Krell blinked in surprise. "You speak our language?" The woman smiled. "We are fast learners. I am Minister Chen of China. We have been observing your ship since they entered our solar system. We've prepared a welcome committee." More humans arrived in various vehicles. They wore different clothes, suggesting different countries. "How did you detect us?" Krell demanded. "No primitive civilization should have such advanced sensors." "Oh, we have our ways," Minister Chen said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Would you like to meet our scientists? They have many questions about your wonderful technology." Krell frowned. This wasn't going as expected. The humans should be afraid, not curious. And they definitely shouldn't be asking about Imperial technology. "We are the Galactic Imperium," Krell announced loudly. "We have come to assess your world for potential membership in our empire." A man in a blue suit stepped forward. "I'm President Taylor of the United States. We understand completely. Please, we've prepared a meeting room with representatives from Earth's major nations. We would be honored to discuss, terms." As Krell followed the humans into a nearby building, he noticed something strange. The local military forces weren't retreating. They were quietly moving into strategic positions around the landing site. "Commander," one of his soldiers whispered. "They're scanning our ship." Krell's hand moved to his weapon. Something was very wrong here. These humans weren't acting like primitives at all. Back on the Conqueror, Admiral Gentar watched the first contact through Krell's camera feed. The humans were too calm, too prepared. "Earth is a trap," the Vexari had warned. For the first time, Gentar wondered if they should have listened. Admiral Gentar paced the command deck of the Conqueror. Commander Krell's report was displayed on the main screen. "The humans were not surprised by our arrival," Krell's message stated. "They speak our language. They ask too many questions. About our ships, our weapons, and our numbers. This is not normal behavior for a first contact species." The Admiral frowned. In 300 years of conquering worlds, he had never seen primitives act this way. Usually there was fear, worship, or at least shock. "Bring up the bioteam's report," he ordered. Officer Mila displayed another file. "Sir, our scientists have analyzed the humans. They are concerning." The report showed detailed scans of human biology. It described humans as apex predators with unusual adaptability. Their planet had more environmental variation than most inhabited worlds: frozen poles, burning deserts, dense jungles, and vast oceans. "These humans evolved in one of the most competitive environments we've seen," said the chief scientist entering the bridge. "They survived alongside large predators without natural weapons. Their success came from problem-solving and group cooperation." "Are they a threat?" asked Gentar. "Their technology is primitive," the scientist replied. "But their psychology is troubling. They show extreme loyalty to their groups while maintaining remarkable creativity when threatened. Most species have one trait or the other, not both." The Admiral studied Earth on the view screen. It looked peaceful. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land masses. Hard to believe such a planet could produce creatures worthy of concern. "What are they doing now?" he asked. "The humans have invited Commander Krell to meet with their United Nations, a gathering of all their countries," Mila reported. "They're being very cooperative." "Too cooperative," muttered Gentar. He made his decision. "Send the standard ultimatum. Tell them they have two choices: join the Imperium peacefully or face conquest. An hour later, Krell delivered the message. To a room full of human leaders. The Admiral watched through Krell's camera. The humans didn't panic as expected. Instead, an older man with gray hair stood up. "We understand completely," he said calmly. "This is a significant decision for our planet. We request 48 hours to consult with all nations and prepare our answer." Krell looked uncertain. "The Imperium expects immediate—" "Give them the time," Gentar interrupted through the communication link. Something told him that rushing these humans would be a mistake. After Krell returned to the ship, the Admiral called his officers together. "I don't like this," he said. "The humans are hiding something. Scan their planet again, look for anything unusual." New scans showed increased activity around Earth. Military units were moving. Civilians were being transported from major cities. Communications had intensified between countries that were supposedly enemies. "They're preparing for something," Gentar realized. "But what? Their weapons can't harm our ships." His second-in-command, a veteran named Drex, looked troubled. "Admiral, remember the Vexari warning? What if there's more to these humans than we can see?" Gentar stared at the planet on the screen. The 48-hour deadline was almost up, and the humans had still not responded. Every instinct told him something was wrong. "Prepare all weapons," he ordered. "When the deadline passes, we'll take control of their satellite network and disable their major military bases. That should show them our power." As the crew rushed to obey, Gentar couldn't shake a growing feeling of dread. Perhaps there had been wisdom in the Vexari's fear after all. "The 48 hours are up," announced Officer Mila. "The humans have not responded." Admiral Gentar stood tall on the command deck. Around him, Imperial officers waited for orders. The main screen showed Earth, seemingly peaceful and vulnerable. "They've had their chance," the Admiral said. "Begin the first phase of conquest. Target their satellite network and major military bases." Weapons Officer Trell nodded. "Targeting systems ready, Admiral. Firing in 3, 2, 1, bright." Beams of energy shot from the Imperial ships toward Earth. The crew watched, expecting to see explosions as the beams hit their targets. Instead, something incredible happened. Just before reaching the planet, the energy beams hit an invisible wall. They spread out like water hitting glass, then faded away. "What just happened?" demanded Gentar. "Sir." Mila's voice was filled with shock. "The planet has shields. Our sensors didn't detect them." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared. Across the ship, "Multiple launches detected from Earth's oceans," shouted the sensor officer. Thousands of missiles rising. The view screen showed countless bright points lifting from the blue waters of Earth. The missiles were primitive by Imperial standards. Chemical rockets with simple warheads. But there were so many. "They're no threat to our shields," said Commander Krell confidently. He was wrong. When the missiles reached the Imperial fleet, they didn't explode as expected. Instead, they split open, releasing clouds of tiny metal particles that surrounded the ships. "Our shields are failing," reported an engineer. "Those particles are creating some kind of interference field." More alarms sounded. "Jump engines not responding," called another officer. "We can't escape." Admiral Gentar gripped the command rail tightly. This was impossible. No primitive world should have technology that could trap an Imperial fleet. "Sir?" Mila pointed at the screen. "Look at the moon." The surface of Earth's moon was changing. What had appeared to be craters were opening up, revealing hidden bases. From these bases, human spacecraft were launching, far more advanced than anything they had shown before. At the same time, what had seemed to be a dusty red planet farther out, Mars, was also coming alive with activity. Hidden facilities were powering up and launching more ships. "This can't be," whispered Gentar. "They showed us old chemical rockets and primitive satellites. These are advanced warships." A communication request flashed on the screen. The Admiral hesitated, then nodded to accept it. A human woman in a military uniform appeared. Her eyes were hard, her smile cold. "This is General Helena Chen of the Earth Defense Force," she said calmly. "We've been expecting you for quite some time." "What is this?" demanded Gentar. "You showed us primitive technology. General Chen laughed. We showed you what we wanted you to see, Admiral. We detected your scout ships years ago. We've been preparing for this day. The human's next words sent a chill through every alien on the bridge. The Vexari warned you, she said. Earth is indeed a trap, and you've walked right into it. Outside, Earth's hidden fleet surrounded the Imperial ships. The trap had sprung perfectly. Admiral Gentar finally understood the Vexari's fear. It wasn't Earth that was the trap, it was humanity itself. All ships attack! Admiral Gentar's voice boomed across the communication system. Full assault on Earth. We will not be defeated by primitives. The remaining Imperial ships fired their weapons, but the humans were ready. Their shield technology absorbed or deflected most attacks. The few beams that got through hit empty land or water. The humans had evacuated their major cities days ago. Commander Krell led the ground forces in landing ships. We'll show these humans what real warfare is, he told his soldiers. The Empire has conquered 1,000 worlds. This one will be no different. The landing ships descended toward Earth's surface. Human fighters swarmed around them like angry insects. Several Imperial ships exploded in midair. When Krell's ship finally landed, in an open field, he expected easy victory. His soldiers were the best in the galaxy, with armor that could stop most weapons and training from hundreds of battles. They rushed out, weapons ready, and immediately stumbled. Earth's gravity was stronger than they had calculated. The air was thicker, making it harder to breathe. The Imperial soldiers moved slowly while the humans seemed to fly across the battlefield. They're too fast, shouted one soldier as a group of human fighters surrounded him. Krell fired his energy weapon at a human soldier. The man should have disintegrated. Instead, his armor absorbed the blast. The humans were wearing advanced protection that looked deliberately primitive on the outside. Fall back, Krell ordered. But it was too late. Human soldiers swarmed over his position. In space, Admiral Gentar watched in horror as his ground forces were overwhelmed. The humans fought with unexpected skill. They seemed to know Imperial tactics, always attacking from unexpected angles, never falling for standard maneuvers. Sir, reported Officer Mila, her voice shaking. The humans are broadcasting on our own frequencies. They're counting our losses and celebrating victories. Indeed, Imperial soldiers could hear human voices in their helmets. That's 50 of their ships down. Eastern Defense has captured 200 aliens. The psychological effect was devastating. New transmission came through. It was General Chen again. Your soldiers are surrendering across the planet, Admiral, she said. Your ground assault has failed. Would you like to discuss terms now? The Empire does not surrender, Gentar replied, though his voice lacked conviction. Let me tell you what really happened to your Vexari scouts, said Chen. They weren't destroyed. They recognized what we are. Survivors, like them. The Vexari have been helping us prepare for your arrival. The Admiral's heart sank as a Vexari appeared beside General Chen on the screen. We tried to warn you, said the Vexari. We saw what humans could do. They adapt faster than any species we've ever encountered. They turned our scout ship's technology against us in days, then improved it. General Chen nodded. We've been studying Imperial technology for years. Every scout ship you sent we captured. We learned your languages, your tactics, your weaknesses. Gentar looked at his remaining ships, surrounded by the surprisingly advanced human fleet. He had one option left. All ships, he ordered. Prepare for emergency jump. We must warn the Empire. But nothing happened. The jump engines remained dead. That won't work, Admiral, said General Chen. You're not going anywhere. Now, shall we discuss your surrender, or would you prefer we continue this demonstration of human warfare? For the first time in his long life, Admiral Gentar didn't know what to do. Admiral Gentar sat alone in his quarters aboard the Conqueror. His mighty ship, once the pride of the Imperial fleet, was now just a floating prison. Outside, human ships kept watch, their weapons aimed and ready. A soft chime announced a visitor. The door slid open to reveal Commander Krell, now without his armor. His green skin looked pale, and a bandage covered one arm where human weapons had wounded him. The Humans request your presence on their station, Krell said. They say it's time to talk. What choice do we have? Gentar replied bitterly. A human shuttle brought them to a large space station orbiting Earth. The Admiral was surprised. This station hadn't been visible to Imperial scanners before the attack. The humans had hidden it somehow. General Chen greeted them in a large room with windows overlooking Earth. Other humans in various uniforms stood nearby, along with 2 Vexari. Welcome, Admiral, said Chen. Please sit. We have much to discuss. What is there to discuss? Gentar asked. You've defeated us. Will you kill us now? Turn us into slaves? A tall human man stepped forward. That's not our way, Admiral. I'm Dr. James Carter, head of Earth's Science Council. We want to show you something. A screen lit up showing images of Earth from centuries past. Humans burning enormous amounts of fossil fuels. Forests disappearing. Oceans filled with plastic. 200 years ago, we nearly destroyed ourselves, explained Dr. Carter. Our planet was dying. Resources were running out. Wars were fought over what remained. The images changed, showing new technology, clean energy systems, machines that cleaned the oceans and air. We had to adapt, continued Carter. We had to innovate. Earth's harsh conditions and our own mistakes forced us to find sustainable solutions. General Chen nodded. When we captured your first scout ship 50 years ago, we learned something important. The Imperium is facing the same problems we once did. Your 1,000 worlds are running out of resources. Your technology consumes too much energy. Gentar was shocked. How did they know about the Empire's resource crisis? It was a closely guarded secret. Your species evolved on a single stable world, said Dr. Carter. Most Imperial species did, but humans evolved on Earth, a planet with deserts, Arctic regions, mountains, and oceans. We faced hundreds of predators and survived ice ages and natural disasters. Adaptation is in our DNA. For the first time, the Admiral understood. So, this was your plan? Trap an Imperial fleet to, what? Show us your technology? To offer you a choice, replied Chen. Not conquest or surrender, but partnership. Your empire has scale and reach. We have innovation and adaptation. Together we could solve the resource crisis threatening your worlds. A Vexari stepped forward. We saw this potential in humans immediately. That's why we warned the Empire to stay away. Not because humans are dangerous enemies, but because they're dangerous to your way of thinking. They challenge everything the Empire believes about superiority and conquest. Admiral Gentar looked out the window at Earth, the blue planet that had defeated his fleet not through superior firepower, but through superior thinking. So, General Chen said, what will you tell your Empire about Earth? The Admiral faced a choice that would change galactic history forever. 6 months after the failed invasion of Earth, Emperor Zaxnar paced in his grand palace on the Imperial capital world. Reports from across the galaxy sat on his golden desk, each one worse than the last. How could this happen? He demanded of his advisors. One small fleet is defeated by a primitive world and suddenly the Empire begins to crack? High Counselor Vex bowed her head. It's not just the defeat, Your Majesty. It's what Admiral Gentar has been telling other worlds. Indeed, instead of returning in disgrace, Gentar had become an ambassador. With General Chen and a team of humans, he traveled to nearby Imperial worlds. They brought solutions to long-time problems, clean energy systems, efficient recycling technology, and new farming methods that worked on dying planets. The humans call it sustainability, said an advisor. Many of our outer worlds have embraced these ideas. They're starting to question why the Empire never developed such technology. The Emperor slammed his fist on the desk. Because we conquer new worlds when resources run out. That is the Imperial way. A message flashed on the large screen. It was from the Vexari homeworld. The Emperor was shocked. The Vexari had always been loyal scouts. Play it, he ordered. The screen showed the Vexari High Leader standing beside humans and other Imperial species. For too long, the Vexari have served. An empire that takes but never creates, said the Vexari. The humans have shown us another path. Today we announce that Vexari Space has joined the Earth Alliance. We invite all species who wish for a sustainable future to join us. Treason, shouted the Emperor. Prepare the planet-killer weapons. We will make an example of these rebels. But another advisor stepped forward nervously. Your Majesty, we can't. Half of the Imperial fleet has defected. What? Many captains who fought at Earth have joined Admiral Gentar. They've seen the human technology firsthand. They believe the Empire is dying while Earth offers hope. The Emperor collapsed in his throne. This was impossible. 10,000 years of Imperial rule threatened by one insignificant blue planet. Meanwhile, on the outer Imperial world of Keltis, Admiral Gentar stood with General Chen as local leaders signed an alliance with Earth. Your ships arrived just in time, said the Keltis governor. Our oceans were dying. These human purification systems will save millions of lives. Gentar watched as human engineers worked alongside local scientists. In just days, they had solved problems the Empire had ignored for centuries. I never imagined our defeat would lead to this, he said to Chen. She smiled. This was our plan all along. Earth was indeed a trap, but not for your ships, for your ideas. The trap was showing you a better way. A message arrived from another system. 3 more Imperial worlds had broken away to join the growing alliance. Emperor has threatened to use planet killers, said Gentar worriedly. Chen looked unconcerned. He can threaten all he wants. Your own fleet captains have seen what humanity offers. They know destroying us would doom the Empire to a slow death from resource depletion. The Admiral realized she was right. Earth's real power wasn't in weapons, but in ideas that spread like fire across a dry forest. The Empire had walked into a trap more dangerous than any battlefield. Hope. 5 years passed since the day Imperial ships first appeared above Earth. The galaxy had changed forever. Admiral Gentar stood on the observation deck of the huge space station orbiting the Imperial capital world. Once, this station had been the Emperor's private retreat. Now it served as the meeting place for the new interstellar cooperative. It's time, Admiral, said General Chen, now Earth's representative to the cooperative. They're waiting for us. Together, they entered the Grand Council chamber. Representatives from over 500 worlds sat in a circle, with no seat higher than any other. Humans sat beside Vexari and dozens of former Imperial species. Even Emperor Zaxnar was present, though he now served as just one representative, among equals. The final transition of power had come not through war but through choice. When 3/4 of the Imperial fleet surrounded the throne world, the Emperor had expected destruction. Instead, the fleet captains delivered a simple message. It was time for change. An elderly Vexari named Nixaval, the very scout who had first warned about Earth, called the meeting to order. 5 years ago, I sent a message to the Empire. Earth is a trap. Today we celebrate how right I was. Laughter filled the chamber. The trap wasn't for our ships or our people, but for our old ways of thinking. Gentar smiled as he remembered how differently he had understood that warning. He had expected weapons or monsters, not ideas that could transform a galaxy. Dr. Carter, now leading the Cooperative's Science Council, presented the latest report. Thanks to Earth's sustainability systems combined with Imperial scale, we've restored environments on 37 critical worlds. Resource shortages have been reduced by 60%. For the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy is becoming healthier, not sicker. Emperor Zaxnar, once the most powerful being in the galaxy, now just another voice in the council, spoke up. I was wrong about Earth. I was wrong about many things. His words would have been unthinkable years ago. The Empire survived for 10,000 years through conquest. This cooperative may last much longer through cooperation. Later, as the meetings ended, Gentar and Chen walked through the gardens of the station. The Earth plants mixed with species from 100 worlds, creating something new and beautiful. Did you plan all this? Gentar asked. When you trapped our fleet, did humans know they would transform the entire galaxy? Chen laughed. No. We only knew we couldn't let the Empire conquer Earth. The rest happened because your people were ready for change. You just needed to see another way was possible. A group of children ran past, human kids playing with young Vixari and other species. They were the first generation that would grow up without the Empire, without conquest as the only path forward. Earth was a trap, Gentar said softly, watching the children. A trap that caught us all and set us free. As night fell across the station, thousands of stars became visible through the clear dome. Among them was a small yellow star with a blue planet, once unknown, now the source of a new beginning for an entire galaxy. Earth had been a trap indeed, but the best kind of trap, one that changed everything it caught for the better. The end.